Alright, the Gino made a video about how communism doesn't work, and that kind of offended me. Not because he was talking about how I'm such a hateful person and blah blah blah. What I'm here to talk about is all these misconceptions about communism and about how it just doesn't work, because that has aggravated me for some time. And I know the Gino is like 10 years old, so I don't blame him. I blame his upbringing. I blame the fact that he's been indoctrinated ever since he was even younger by the school system, which is perpetuated by Western imperialism, and that's why he believes this lie. So let me break it down for you simply. If people were to be, that they needed to be enticed by profit margins, then what does that say about 99% of society? I mean, let me put it to you this way. Are you doing what you would want to do in life? Are you successful? Are you powerful? Are you content with where you are? No? Then capitalism doesn't work. Capitalism does not work for the vast majority of people. So, you've already lost the argument right there. You've already said that, well, capitalism does not fulfill the needs or wants of just about everybody. So what do you have to lose by saying you're a communist or a socialist or an anarchist or whatever? You have nowhere to go but up. Okay. So from there, let's go on to the whole profit of it all. Why do people need to make profit? Why do people need to be superior to one another in order to fulfill themselves? That sounds awfully sociopathic to me. I do not need to bring somebody else down in order to feel better about myself. If there is something I want to pursue in life, I want to do it for me. Not because I want to hurt somebody else. Not because somebody else has to fail in order for me to succeed. That's not how success works. That's at least not how it should work. So, what you're saying here is that people are so diabolical and so sinister that they need other people around them to suffer in order to feel like they've achieved anything. Why would you want to live in such a deranged society? That makes no sense to me. So, I don't even know how to go further into that. It's only like that because we allow it to be and because we refuse to think differently. Because you just accept it. Capitalism is a religion. That's all it is. It's just a new religion. The same way you believe in a God, and which is ironic because you're an atheist, I believe, right? So, you think the whole idea of God is ridiculous, but yet you believe in these market ideals that do not benefit you in any way whatsoever, and you believe in this gratuitous, extravagant human nature, but you don't question that. You don't question how capitalism has said human nature is and what it will always be. Because God forbid human nature could change. I mean, you believe in evolution, don't you? So, why is it so far-fetched that we do not have to be this way personality-wise? Even let's say we are selfish, egomaniacal, hateful, cutthroat jackals. Who's to say we have to be tomorrow? Who's to say with the right conditioning and the right kind of government, we couldn't evolve differently decades, centuries down the line? I never said communism will happen overnight. I only said that it is something to pursue. It's something better than now. That's not saying much. So, in reality, it's just being a realist about politics in general. It's just being a realist about our social and economic conditions. And I see no reason why we should not pursue communism when we are already not living the lives we would want to live. That's the reason to work under communism. We're not there to make money. We're not there to be better than anybody else, but to pursue the dreams we always had to begin with. If you wanted to be an artist, you didn't want to become an artist to make money. You wanted to create art. If you wanted to become a baker, you did not bake to make money. You liked to bake. If you wanted to be an astronaut, you became an astronaut because you wanted to be an astronaut. It had nothing to do with the fucking money. So, all money does is degrade human beings into mere transactions. It turns human beings into a commodity. And that's wrong. And that's why society has stagnated. Society has stagnated because everything has turned into profit margins and trade as opposed to human pursuits for goals that transcend mere market allocation, mere ownership of land and resources. And that's why we haven't developed much since the early 1900s. I mean, the technology's gotten a little more refined, a little more sophisticated, but all in all, we're still in the same place we were. You know, I mean, you can say here and there it's gotten better, like the internet, more than our grandparents could have imagined, but we're stagnating more and more. The curve between primitivism and technocracy is just huge. It is becoming a wider gap because capitalism is standing in the way of true progress. And I truly believe that. And you would have to be a fool to believe otherwise. It's not even a belief. It's a fact at this point. It's a fact that capitalism is destroying the third world. It is killing people as we speak. As we speak, little girls are being trafficked into sex trades. As we speak, capitalism is raping the earth of its natural resources. As we speak, every skill, every talent, every thing that people have worked so hard for is being converted into the mundane. It is being converted into a mere transaction between huge parties or even individuals. It doesn't matter. It's converting it down to the most basic, primal, primitive sort of ooze, rather than what it really is. The pursuit of humanity. The pursuit of a greater good. Whatever I do in life, I do out of principle. Not for money, not for power, not for ownership, but pure principle. Because it's the right thing to do. Because it's the sort of thing that would fulfill me as an individual. And that would not change into communism. In fact, all the more so it would be there. There would be no reason to pursue money because there would be no money. There would be no ownership. So people would not have the opportunity to exploit each other. People would not have the opportunity to gain the upper hand by making somebody else fail. And then from there, people would be educated in such a way where those sorts of attitudes would just fade out. Because only in our modern capitalist society are sociopaths allowed to reign, where lying, cheating, stealing, and murdering come in as handy skills. But under communism, where the real goal is just to be human and to have realistic pursuits and use them to better society and yourself, then there's no reason to be those things. And you would just be a baker, or be an astronaut, or an inventor, an artist, a musician, whatever. You would have the same things as you do now, but you would be doing them for their own sake, not for the money. And then you would have more Beethovens and Mozarts, and less Justin Biebers and Lady Gagas. You would have more, Neil Diamonds and Neil Armstrongs or whatever. You would have less commercialized shit, and you would have more art. You would have more class. You would have more dignity to humanity. All the best aspects of humanity would still be there, because it would still be the pursuit of things greater than oneself, but not backed by profit, not backed by this need to make money, not mass marketed to the masses. I'm having trouble grabbing words here for this, but essentially capitalism ruins everything. It ruins every great pursuit we ever had or ever will have, and more or less people just think about how they can make money rather than what they really want to do in life. Like, for example, if I didn't have to worry about money, who's to say what I would be doing? I might be an attorney right now, because I would like to help people not go to jail. So I would be a defense attorney and help people stay out of prison and defend them and defend their rights the way I try to defend rights against moderators online. And I wouldn't have to worry about how I'm going to afford college and how I'm going to afford advertising myself as a defense attorney and things like that. I would just become one because I would go to a free school and I would have all the resources available to me to learn the legal system, and then I'd be an attorney. That's it. You know, it would take a minuscule of time as it compares to a capitalist society, because I wouldn't have to go through all those hoops to impress anybody. I wouldn't need to be employed. I wouldn't need no internship. I wouldn't need no contracting. I wouldn't need to save in order to go to college. I wouldn't need to take up an extra job to get the money to go to college just to maybe become an attorney. I would just be able to become an attorney flat out, and it would be like that with everything. So, in essence, because you don't have communism, you are robbing yourself of all the opportunities you could have. Right now, you could be anything you wanted to be, but you can't right now because we live in capitalist society, not a communist society. So think about that. Think about all the things you lost in life. Think about all the things that could have been yours, but now can't be, because in capitalist society, they expect you to work for it. Isn't that something? You gotta work for it. The bourgeoisie, not so much. It's handed to them. And you know what? In their minds, that's righteous. In their minds, it's okay, the fact that you get screwed over so that they don't have to. Whereas the communist says, no, nobody has to get screwed over. We have more than enough resources, we have more than enough time, and we have more than enough manpower to give everybody equal opportunity, equal grant, equal merit, and equal responsibility and skill. And then we can all become the things we want to become. And none of us have to worry about these, you know, minuscule, petty problems that commonly come up in capitalism. There would be less there wouldn't be robbery, because it would be pointless. There'd be less drugs, because people would not be in ghettos. People would not be under the daily stresses that make them turn to drugs. There'd be less murder, less violence, less rape. Everything would be better. It just takes simple observation to notice that. Where money is less of a problem, problems are less. More money, more problems. So, you take away the money, you take away the problems. It's almost like Stalin said, no man, no problem. I say, no money, no problem. So, I wasn't ready to make this video, so it's probably not the most articulated video of mine, but essentially, I just cannot believe the repetitive jargon spewing from the Geno. I cannot believe that it's so regurgitated from Western textbooks. You know, oh, communism doesn't work because people need a profit incentive. You're not working for profit now. You're working like a bitch for what? For what exactly? Nothing. You don't have jack shit. You never will have jack shit. You'll never be jack shit. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're not going to do anything with your life. No matter how hard you work, no matter how well you do in school, no matter how much ass you kiss, you will always be poor. You will always be nobody. So, what do you have to lose? What are you so afraid of? What are you so afraid of happening under communism that you're willing to cling to capitalism that has not granted you anything? It would be like staying in an abusive relationship because you're scared of the outside world. Ooh, somebody might hurt you. You're already getting hurt. You're getting abused ritualistically every day. Your labor is being stolen from you by an elite few who take advantage of you, who take advantage of your ignorance, your fears, and all your problems and just general willful stupidity. You're willfully being stupid to the fact that you have nowhere else to go but up. It's that simple. You know? Right now, the only thing separating you from being homeless is one paycheck. That's all it takes. All it takes is for you to be unemployed, and you're fucked. All it takes is for you to be injured, and you're fucked. All it takes is for, something bad to happen to you. You go to jail, and then you come out, and then you're unemployed again. You're fucked. There's so many ways in capitalist society to fuck you over. And the best we can do as a society is tout moderate socialism. Well, maybe they won't get fucked as hard because jails will be less. There'll be less imprisonment. Maximum sentencing. And we'll give this guy food stamps. And we'll give these subsidies to black people. And it's bullshit. It's just compromising bullshit that is refusing to validate the problem that is capitalism. And that's why we have the problems we do today. Because of pussyfoot, wish-wash, liberal socialists not validating the fact that capitalism has fucked us over for hundreds and if not thousands of years. It's just taken on different forms, but capitalism is just as tyrannical today as it was in monarch times. In fact, in some ways, it's even worse. So, I find it ridiculous, ignorant, and downright offensive that you would say that mankind needs the profit incentive. Well, guess what? You're not profiting. So maybe you need to rethink your ideology. That's all I have to say.